Arcanist alive, yes? Freelancer Wright has begun her patrol.
This is right. Like the man says, I'm on my way.
Let's see what we can do, right?
What's up, people of YouTube, and welcome to this new Let's Play Anthem Solo video. This is a side mission. This episode will feature a side mission, but in fact this side mission is part of a bigger priority mission, critical mission, and it consists of 5 successive areas, and each with 1 or 2 objectives.
Seismic indicator is ready to go. Okay?
Start it up. Hate this part. Always makes me nervous.
Remember, these tests attract animals. Don't know why. Make sure the Arcanists stay healthy, you understand?
Got it. I'll keep an eye out.
So this is the first one, the first area. It's right in the forest of Tarsus.
All animals incoming.
You see? Every time, so angry.
The first thing you have to do is to stay near the signal. It's like the hacking objective in Mass Effect games. The first faction you will have to fight against will be wildlife,
Keep those wolven away from the Arcanists.
like frosthounds and wolvens. In fact, wildlife can be really tough to deal with, especially frost wolven.
Maybe they should do tests that don't make animals angry.
Science, what can you do?
I already mentioned a couple of things about them in my previous video, if you are interested. Because, well, they are also part of the Dominion faction, and they have several abilities that, might surprise you, and I thought really that they were very, very fast. What I'm doing now is that I'm deliberately choosing to make the objective longer, to wait a little before the objective is complete. Why? Because my character is low level. What I want is that I want to have different achievements, and I want these achievements to bring me more experience. So that's why I try to kill the enemies using different methods. For example, here using my weapons, and then using my melee, and then using my gear. This is the way to go if you want to level up, alone, when you are playing alone. Well, that doesn't mean that I'm playing alone all the time, sometimes I'm playing in duos, and sometimes I'm playing with other teams. Right now, one of the frost wolvens just froze me. I wish I had the power Rally Cry, because this power would have immediately stopped the frozen status. In fact, the wildlife faction is peculiar insofar as all their units are usually melee masters, That's the only thing they have, if you think about the Ursics, for example, or even the Wolvens. The Wolvens and the Frost Wolvens as well. The only exception there would be the Wyverns, but, they can be tough as well with their burning attacks. Fortunately, the next area will be against Scars.
Okay, that's it. Tests are done.
They got through okay, Yarrow.
Good, go to the next group. I will make sure these Arcanists get back safe.
Freelancer right here. First group is finished up. No angry animals.
Lucky her.
Maybe. Strange.
Head to next location.
It's near Tarsus Falls, and the Scars will appear as soon as you get near the signal. You follow the signal, and at some point you arrive in this area.
Scars!
The first thing you can do, if you want to, is to get rid of the scouts, because they can be really annoying.
It's a scar heavy. Don't try to smash the shield. Get behind it.
And on a hard difficulty, imagine you still have all your shields. If you are at, health gates, you have a little amount of health remaining, then the scout can just, shoot once, and that might kill you without going through Shield's Gate or whatever. It happened to me a couple of times, especially on strongholds. So be really careful because scouts can be surprising. Once you dealt with the enforcer, it's like a mini boss fight. You will be able to open the cage and rescue the Arcanist.
No Arcanists in here. Where are they?
No bodies. Good. Scars must have taken them.
Why take Arcanists?
Maybe because they know much about Shaper things? Valuable to Scars.
Can we track them?
Yes, go. Scars scavenge everything, yeah? So I look for the energy signature of Arcanist tools.
God damn it. These guys always need help, don't they? Now we're heading towards the third area. An open space area. There will be a welcome committee, a turret. I dealt with it as soon as I went there because I could.
Look at them all. I don't like this.
I don't either.
A turret. And look at their numbers.
Yes, I'm getting acquainted with both.
I'm seeing a lot of munitions around here. Take care of them. More cages. That's our Arcanists. We were preparing to move them out of here.
Lucky we got here in time.
First thing I did was to use my cryoclave. It's really important to do that. Because that, not only freezes the turret, it also debuffs it. It has a debuff effect. It's a perfect power to debuff the turret and then, rip it apart.
Good. Very good.
Otherwise, the turret might, get you in trouble. So now the only thing I have to do now is to deal with the stockpiles.
Yes. Very well done.
It's a very classic objective, something that you can get in free play. So it's not really surprising. And it wasn't surprising as well that there was a third target. This time, it's a boss.
Haven't heard from Reich in a while.
But before the boss comes, you have to finish the budget.
Bad business.
That's why it's really comparable to Mass Effect multiplayer games. It's clearly based on a system of waves. As in my last episode, I completely forgot to include the build in the video. I am still using target beacon, that's the red light you are seeing right now on this car. The enemies inflicted with target beacon become weaker, so any damage you deal will be higher. So you will deal 1/3 more damage to them. It's particularly efficient against bosses.
Is that? Yes, it is.
What?
That big scar. Junk maw. Blake, known to work with many bad people.
I'll see what I can do.
And right now the boss is finally coming. It's a hunter, it's a scar hunter, so the scar hunter surely has a reputation, if you hadn't noticed so far. Its ability is that it can jump and it can shoot either from afar or from up close, really. It depends where you are, obviously, but it's like a moving turret. It's a mix between the Anointed and the Observer. That's how I chose to describe it in my guide video, if you want to have a look. Or if you haven't already. So I'm dealing with it. Well, it's trying to escape.
That thing is down. No more junk maw.
Take that, junk maw. Let's see about those Arcanists.
It's remarkable. The enemy seems to have some kind of artificial intelligence.
There you go. You're okay.
I can't thank you enough. I wasn't sure what was going to happen before you got here.
Arcanists are safe. Only cuts and bruises. Told the Sentinels to pick them up.
Already done. Good. Nothing more to do here. Check on Freelancer, right?
Got it.
That's really promising. if they start using verticality to escape from you. That might get things a little bit spicier, no, don't you think? So now heading towards the 4th area. I'm still looting here and there, you know, harvesting some plants, if I may call that looting. Well, kind of looting. I'd be using embers a lot to make my own weapons and gear, you know, begging for nice stats boosts. This is why the game is interesting, because you can basically try to have the build that you precisely want.
Camp located. It's a mess.
And there's no right, no arcanists.
Only scars.
Breath. Right, where are you?
You know, with the stats and boosters that you want, that you choose to have. For example, if you prefer, I don't know, boosting your ultimate power, recharge speed, or if you prefer adding more damage to your melee. That's what makes this game charming. So in this way you should be careful. There are destroyers.
Scars never get this close to Fort Tarsus.
They aren't getting around.
And there's another enforcer coming in. And this enforcer was the reason why I waited to use my ultimate ability. Once they're all killed, you can finally go to the objective.
Yeah, there's no sign of the Arcanists or Wraith.
Search the area, find them.
And that will lead you to the 5th and final area in this mission.
Scarred bodies. Away from the campsite.
Anything else?
Bullet holes.
Well, it's more like a quest. It's in fact an agent quest. It's part of, you know, the priority mission, lending a hand. The goal is simply to help the 3 factions in the game, and that's the Freelancer agent quest. So that's why there's Yarrow speaking on the microphone.
Right.
Not speaking too much, but still. So this is a classic wave composition for the scars. There's a Scar Enforcer. It's not an elite Scar Enforcer, so that means that it can be easily dealt with. Although I don't have any power that is really efficient against it, as, you know, Cryoclave, for example. Yeah, well, Cryoclave can miss. That's the problem. Cryoclave can miss, as it just did. But basically that's the strategy I use with the Scar Enforcer. Target beacon to weaken it. Well, did you see that? It just meleeed me, you know, it just used its melee. Oh my giddy aunt. It's a really dangerous situation I'm finding myself in. And that's another situation in which I so wish I had Rally Cry. It's very useful power. Because, you know, playing, you know, with a low health is not necessarily the best option for the Interceptor. It's still very flimsy, as I mentioned earlier. The scouts, for example, can be devastating against the Interceptor. You're not alone on the field. It's roughly a rescue mission.
Well, everybody's a little banged up, but alive. Nothing got past Wraith. She'll be okay.
Damn right.
Good. Very good, my friend. Sentinels are on their way.
Glad you made it. My trigger finger was cramping up.
And once you cleared out the wave, the quest is finally complete. And this was the first part of our third mission in Anthem. So in the next episode there would be a second part, which will be the Arcanist quest. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. My character is slowly leveling up, but I also be posting on this channel more solos, you know, independently from the critical objectives or necessary missions that you have to take to complete the game. It's not necessary to take all the contracts to finish the game, but it's necessary to take all the missions. That's what this Let's Play is all about. It's just, you know, the main missions and showing you how to survive solo if you choose to solo this game. That is a very interesting experience, I must say. Thanks for watching, I catch you in the next episode. I Exalt out. Bye.